Good evening. I'm Nicole Harris. I'm one of the co-chairs of the MIT Black Students Union, and I'll be your MC this evening. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to the MIT 2023 Black Graduate Celebration. So, we've got an incredible event lined up for you guys. You'll get the chance to hear from some amazing student speakers, MIT admin, representatives from BAMIT and the Alumni Association, play a game of trivia, and watch a live performance by members of MIT's premier Afro-Caribbean dance team, Sakata Afrique. And as you all know, tonight we are also honored to be hearing from the sitting Congresswoman representing MIT's very own district, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. So the theme for this year's Black Graduate Celebration is the ache for home. This quote is an excerpt from Maya Angelou's novel, All God's Children Need Traveling Shoes. The full quote is the ache for home lives in all of us, the safe place where we can go as we are and not be questioned. For the class of 2023, a class whose college experience has been exceptionally disrupted by the pandemic and political turmoil, BAMIT felt that the theme focused on the importance of community and belonging would be unifying. So, as we celebrate the graduates tonight, let's keep the idea of community and the ache for home in our minds and hearts. Lastly, I'd like to extend a special welcome to the admitted students of the MIT class of 2027. After today and the rest of Ebony Fair weekend, we hope that you'll decide to join our community in the fall. So, okay, y'all have heard enough from me for now. I'd like to first invite BAMIT board member Rocklyn Clark to welcome the graduates and attendees on behalf of the Black alumni of MIT.
Thank you. My name is Rocklyn Clark. I'm from the class of '80, and when I got here, I felt the ache for home when I arrived at Bexley Dormitory, which is not a thing anymore. It's a park now, but it was a dorm then. That was my temporary residence. I'm the clerk on the BAMIT board, and on behalf of the Black alumni of MIT, the board of directors, and our board chair, Patrick Gertis, I want to welcome you all to the 2023 BAMIT Black Graduate Celebration. Patrick sends his regrets that he's not able to be here in person, but his heart is with us. So before we jump into the amazing program, I want to share a few thoughts. First, congratulations to all the graduates of 2023. We honor you today. We recognize and celebrate your achievements, and we invite you to engage and continue to have a powerful impact through BAMIT throughout the next phase of your life journey. Welcome to the graduates. And you're happy to know that as new graduates, your first year of BAMIT membership is free. BAMIT seeks to work with Black students, faculty, and staff to motivate MIT to continue to improve and to address the areas we all know need work. BAMIT is striving to have impacts and to put on events and programs that are meaningful for the Black community, both at MIT and connected to MIT. And we need and invite your participation and support. We need you. And these are only doable through the efforts of many. And so we look forward to your coming on board to help us with that effort. So some of what we have been doing, we've hosted the 51st annual BGC event. That'll be next year, and increasing the networking and professional events for BAMIT members. We want you all to connect and continue to grow and nurture each other. We host dinners and or cocktail receptions for recent graduates to introduce them to senior MIT alums and affiliates. We unite with the board of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, and that's the organization that's going to be defending the affirmative action case that's before the Supreme Court to develop a post-SCOTUS strategy for MIT's people of color community. That's important. So, creating a presence for MIT in alternative investments, private equity, venture capital, and hedge funds. We didn't really talk about that much when I was a freshman. For underrepresented groups via the DEI Alternative Investment Summit planned for later this year. We're planning a BAMIT diligence trip to Ghana this year to meet with local business, government, and investment professionals to investigate international business and investigate opportunities. And so we hope that you will, that you like what you've heard, that you'll want to roll up your sleeves, get involved, be a part. And I want to finish by welcoming our special guests, including Dean Creighton, our MIT Alumni Association President Stephen Baker, and a very warm and special welcome to our guest speaker, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. So we've applauded her before, but the board has to say it too, so. So we're honored by your presence. We thank you dearly for joining our BGC celebration and inspiring our 2023 graduates. I guess we'll have Nicole up to introduce Dean Creighton.
Thank you, Rockland, and a huge thank you to BAMIT for all the hard work you put in to organize the Black Graduate Ceremony every year. I speak for all current students, especially on behalf of BCU Exec, when I say your support is felt and appreciated throughout our community. Now next, I want to introduce someone we all know and love, someone whose office is one of the first we learn about the moment we step on campus, someone who works tirelessly to advocate for resources and programming for Black students and for the broader Black MIT community, and who has also served for over 13 years as the director of the Office of Minority Education. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Dean Creighton.
I think I'm the vertically challenged one. So I have to lower that. Wow. Greetings to all of you, and special thanks to BAMIT's Black Graduation Celebration Planning Committee, to Devin Johnson and Kofi Blake, who extended this special invitation to me, and to the admitted students. We are so glad to have you here for Ebony Affair Weekend, so welcome. Most especially, I want to give my appreciation and thanks to the class of 2023. It is my honor to offer remarks on behalf of the Institute. It is such a privilege to be here with you in person as you celebrate this very special milestone in your lives and careers. Congratulations to each of you. I love this year's theme, the ache for home. That quote again is, "The ache for home lives in all of us, the safe place where we can go as we are and not be questioned." It reminds me of what MIT aspires to be. My hope is that MIT is and was a home for all of you, and that in some small way, the OME has played an instrumental role in that. But in my heart, I know that for some of you, we, the Institute, may have fallen a little short of that aspirational goal. And while MIT, like all institutions of higher learning, has more work to do on itself, and we will continue to do that work, I urge you, do not forget to take in the collateral beauty of this very special moment in your lives. In other words, please don't spend too much time focusing on what you missed out on. And I know that the last few years have been drastically different. It was a lot, it is a lot, and I'm not trying to minimize that in any way. But staying in that place, the place of deficit, is a poor use of your very precious energy. So I would ask all of you to stop right now and do it with me. Close your eyes and breathe. Inhale. Come on, I don't hear you. Exhale, all right? And begin to reflect on the true magnificence of this very special moment in your lives. Think about how much it took for you to get here today. Everything that you gave of yourself to be in this special place and time, all that it means to you, all that it means to your family, loved ones, and friends, and begin to treasure this moment in your hearts. And while you are doing that, please recognize this undeniable truth. You are phenomenal. Let that sit. You are phenomenal. There is not another you, and the world needs you. Not someone like you. The world needs you. Because this beautiful world that we live in, this racially charged, politically divided nation, cannot and will not get any better without you in it. We need you to show up and use all of your immense gifts and talents that you have been blessed with to achieve all that is purpose within you to do. And while I will tell you, much like Langston Hughes, that life ain't gonna be no crystal stair, I can reassure you of this. All of your experiences before MIT and since MIT, your compassion for humanity, your commitment to excellence, your ability to solve the world's greatest challenges, your struggles, your highs, your lows, your belief that you could have a future that is greater than your reality. That is what makes you, you. So please be that, be you. Congratulations to all of you once again. May God bless you and keep you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Creighton. We really appreciate you and all the work and support you've provided for us throughout your time at MIT. The OME is a wonderful place that I know has had a huge place in many of the graduates' lives. So now it's time to switch things up. This is something a bit new to Black Grad, but we're gonna get into some MIT Black trivia. So if you could all please go to menti.com or scan the QR code. I need y'all to know this is ultra competitive. There is a leaderboard. Can I? Oh, do you want me to read it out? Can everyone read the numbers? If you go to menti.com, that's the code. Because I cannot read them from here. We're gonna give it about like 30 more seconds. Okay. This is competitive, like I gotta get in this. Y'all good? Y'all good? Can I get a no? No? Okay. That was definitely a not good. Okay. All right, I see we have about 101 people in the code. If anyone has not joined, can you please yell? Oh, all right, word. Okay. All right, we're getting started. So I have the questions in front of me. Make sure y'all put your names in so you can be represented on the leaderboard. All right. What was the percentage? I'm not controlling it. What was the percentage of Black students, grad and undergrad, at MIT in 2022? Is it? Yeah. There is some uproar. All right, y'all go for the next question? Who was the first Black graduate of MIT? Current students, if y'all don't get this, I'm gonna be really disappointed. Rachel? This next question is really true to me. As the co-chair of the BSU, I need all of y'all to know, when was the BSU started? So, a little history. The BSU was started in 1968. It was after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., so that year is pretty marked in political advocacy. Anyway, I know you're ready for the next question. I'm sorry for interrupting. It's in Smoots, in Smoots. I really, really hope y'all have seen Wakanda Forever. I really hope you've seen the movie. Which dorm was featured? Yup. Y'all ready? How many Black commencement speakers has the Institute hosted? The numbers are very low. What was the name of the Black MIT student-run soul music radio program started in 1969? So recently we had the MLK luncheon, if y'all remember, back in February. But what year did the Institute begin its tradition of celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? Like, y'all should, like... The year was 1975. We're coming up on the 50th this next upcoming year. I don't know, I think that might have been a leaderboard. Sneak peek. No. In the meantime, I do have my own trivia for y'all. I hope it's not in the questions. So I need like audience participation because I don't have the slides. So please bear with me. Y'all can yell this out. Which school at MIT, so like department, has the highest percentage of Black graduate students? Numbers work too. That's probably easier for me to hear. Oh. 10. Congrats, Sienna, by the way, on winning.
Sorry, technical difficulties, but there's the leaderboard.
That's Devin from the heavens. So I don't think I heard the answer yet. It's not course 10. Course 6? No. 5? It's not 5. 2. You're saying no. Wait, somebody said it. Someone said it. So, it's the School of Architecture and Planning. That was for Black graduate students. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed that trivia. I think Sienna won. I think that's who was up there. Whoever that was, congrats for winning the Black trivia. Thank you for participating. Thanks for yelling out. It's kind of hard to hear, but now we're going to transition a little bit. Next up, we have our first student speaker, Nayla Canty. Nayla is graduating. Oh yeah, please applause, please. Nayla is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Engineering with a major in Aeronautical and Astronautical Engineering and a Bachelor of Science in Urban Studies and Planning. Right? Don't play with her. She's originally from Atlanta and has been involved in several groups on campus, including the Black Women's Alliance, Infinite Magazine, Cicada Freak, Club Gymnastics, and currently serves as the president of MIT Women in Aerospace Engineering. Like, I know that's right. Come on. Right? Yeah. Nayla hopes to pursue a career in space infrastructure and solar power station entrepreneurship. Nayla? A lot of people. Hello.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Hi. My name is Nayla, and I'm an undergraduate in the Aero, Astro, and Urban Planning departments. I'm exactly 40 days, as well as the rest of the class of 2023, 40 days from graduation, and I've been counting on the side of my door. After which, I will head home and fly to wherever my career takes me. Speaking of home, this year's Black graduation celebration theme is the ache for home, a quote coined many years ago that may just have some relevance to us all today. I'd like to dissect this quote starting with the most sentimental and thought-provoking word, home. Well, what is home? A Google search tells me that home is the place where one lives permanently, especially as a part of a family or a household. But this truthfully is a pretty disappointing definition given where all of us are coming from. An education like that of MIT's requires us to uproot ourselves from our permanent residences and temporarily reroot ourselves in the rich frozen soil of Cambridge, Massachusetts. Home for us in the traditional sense has locations across the entire globe, from London to Accra, DC, Hong Kong, Atlanta, but nobody is from MIT. So MIT is not home, at least not as we know it. Yet we, both undergraduate and graduate students, end up not just searching, but aching for home far from it. Maybe we figure that we'll be enrolled here for way too long to go without a home. Maybe we yearn to be a part of something while being a part of everything that we knew. Or maybe that we see the potential for home at MIT, not in the institute itself, but in the people. So I suggest that for now, we scrap the Google's definition of home and explore what we made of it during our time here. I want to take a trick from Dean Creighton's box, and I want everyone to close your eyes just for a moment and think of home. It can be any home that you know, just for 5 seconds. All right, you may open your eyes. With that vision of home still fresh in your mind, I want to ask you if you pictured empty streets, barren fields, and quiet homes, or did you imagine people walking those streets, tilling those fields, and filling homes with the sweet music of Earth, Wind, and Fire or Janet Jackson? No matter the geographical location of the home that you envision, the picture of home is never complete without the people. Moreover, the vast diversity of hometowns amongst you all leads us to forgo giving home that we ache for an exact set of coordinates. Instead, we treasure what we have in common right now, which is here. In our ache for home, we redefine the word completely and start to search for home in peers, in others. And I'd even go the extra step and say that there is no home without people. I personally had to learn this the hard way my last year through my residence at Tane Graduate Hall, and if you've ever lived there, you know what it's like. Living there felt, honestly, like for me, being exiled, or at best being punished for trying to save a couple hundred for opting out of undergraduate housing. I could never put my finger on why it felt so bad at the time, but now I know, in retrospect, that it was a living space with no life, just housing and no home. So what does it mean to search for home in people rather than in a location? When we search for home in others, we also discover ourselves. Finding home is finding little bits of yourself and your peers. And one of the biggest bits of me is being a Black woman. It's my most front-facing, obvious identity. So in my fourth search for home on campus at the end of my junior year, I searched for Black women. Though I will say that there are some students that were way ahead of the curve in hacking this meaning of home before they even committed to attending MIT. At BWA's campus preview weekend about this time last year, pretty much all of the incoming first years wanted to know, where do the Black people live? I personally lived my first year in McGregor House, the tall brick building on Memorial Drive, and I had a pretty good time there, but after about a couple months, I too began to ask, where do all the Black people live? And this question isn't much as a dorm search, it is actually more of a people search. The people that share the biggest bit of you will always clue you in on how to get closer. And this is not to say that Black MIT is a monolith or that we're adverse to finding community with non-Black people, but I will say that I and many of my friends appreciate community and find strength in identity. Take this celebration as the prime example. We are gathered here today in reverence of this common identity, and thus we find ourselves in each other. We find home within one another. So I want to offer you guys a new definition of home. Home is where and how you make it with those who want to find home in you. For this reason, home does not have to be a place, or it can be multiple places all at once. We often use dorm or floor titles in the undergraduate community to represent the communities in which we have found home, but home does not lie within the architectures of these institute-owned human storage units. Home is the people in House 4, Juniper, Chocolate City, East Campus, McCormick, New Delta. And perhaps we can even further transform the meaning of home to have it overlap with other instances of home. Therefore, home is also the people in the BSU, BWA, Sakata Afrique, NSBE, ASA, UA, or any other organization that you're a part of and is now a part of you. While this new take on home is considerably more transient than what we started with, is not as definite, it's comforting to know that home doesn't have to be far if you don't let it. The next step in many of our academic, professional, or life journeys won't transpire in the very first home that we've known. We will have to depart, at least in writing, from the homes that we found here very soon. Graduation is a bittersweet eviction. The people that were the pillars of our homes at MIT will disperse too, and we'll all re-embark on our search for home in cities ever more distant from each other. So remember that while you may not be able to take home with you, you can make one. And luckily, as we know now, you won't have to look very far because a part of the home that you yearn for is already within you. Where you find home is where you find yourself both literally and socially. And when you take that next step and try to satisfy that ache again, search for yourselves in others and let others find themselves in you. You'll find that the fleeting windows of our lives that we share with one another gives us the opportunity to build homes in the landscapes of hundreds, if not thousands of lives. And those lives will bring with them little bits of you to places you may never go. Being the international and multi-generational crowd that we are, perhaps we can travel lands and time in ways we'd only imagine through the homes we made together, not just at MIT, but within one another. Thank you.
Thank you, Nayla. Now we have our next student speaker. Jonathan Tago is a graduating student pursuing a master's degree in mechanical engineering and hopes to start a career in the design and development of medical devices. He's also a member of the MIT class of 2021 and other communities on campus like Chocolate City, the Black Students Union, Black Graduate Students Union, Sakata Afrique, and the Graduate Student Union. If you don't know him from his heavy involvement in advocacy for us on campus, you kind of have to know him from some events when he's DJ Tago. Come on.
What's up? What's up? Good evening, everybody. How is everyone doing? Lovely, lovely. All right. I'm honored to be speaking at the Black graduation ceremony for the class of 2023. So you heard the long list of what I've been involved in. I've been a member of the MIT community since 2017. A little bit before that, I was actually in the MITES program cohort 2016, so shout out OEOP. And you can see my face around here in Interface, class of 2017, or with the OME in the crew. I remember when I was actually just a pre-frosh back in 2017 around this exact time, shout out to 21s, here at the Institute for My Ebony Affair, watching the graduating class of 2017 go through this ceremony themselves. So life is kind of funny how it comes full circle. Suffice to say, I've been here for a minute. It's been my home. MIT's been my home for 6-7 years. And I'm here at the podium today, one, because my brother Kofi asked me so nicely, but mostly because I want to celebrate graduations and to really engage with everyone here about the essential word, home. So, a wonderful speech from Nayla. I hope not to rehash too much of it. For me, my home is my community, the people rather than the physical space. That feeling I got during MITES and Interface, that sense that I really belonged here at an institute like MIT, came through the people I surrounded myself with. The community that laughed, cried, studied, partied, and struggled with me for entire summers that turned into entire years. Looking back, even before MIT was in the picture for me as a kid growing up in Miami Gardens, Florida, my community and my church and my family really pushed me forward to achieve what I have today. This isn't a unique case because I can see it that in everyone sitting here today, that's been community that's brought us forward to this point. So the theme today is Ache for Home, and I remember when COVID rocked the world for the first time. It was my junior spring, and I distinctly remember coming home to Newhouse every day because, the coursework, even though junior spring is always tough, kind of pleading, please, I just want to go home. I need to get off this campus. It was about mid-March when we started really seeing all the news reports and CPW shutting down. And I remember when in my living group, Chocolate City, we're all like, we need to throw one last party before we all leave. And then someone chimed in like, yo, there's a respiratory disease going around. That's not a very good idea. And we're like, okay, yeah, that's valid, that's valid. So 3 years have flown by and all the chaos and confusion of that moment still feels really fresh. It was a weird, liminal space. And as we all know, nothing was really the same after that. For many of us, that evacuation from campus and the struggle to remain connected left us kind of fractured. And despite the unfortunate shift to grading on P&R, toughing out P-sets without your classmate or your bro or your sibling grinding it out with you, or pausing to ask, do you want to order some food, or do you want to play some video games where we should be finishing up this project, or just chatting was a serious loss. Watching the world come to a standstill while you're kind of just alone, separated from your peers for months on end, really shook up the definition of home. Simply put, how can you really feel at home when you're forced apart from your community? Well, finding community has always been kind of an uphill battle. It's a PWI. I mean, there's 250 of us in undergrad. Divide that by 10 for grad school. It's always been hard to really find a space for us. And that was a jab. Okay, 10 is a bit of an exaggeration, my bad. But it's not that many of us, for real. Come on. Yet, we always find a way, through COVID, the disease, and the era, it placed so many barriers in front of us, yet we persevered. And despite the distance, we all made a way to connect with each other. I remember Ebony Affair 2021 when, despite all the difficulties, we still made it a point to still, come out and celebrate one another through the screen with that little Pokemon meeting platform. I don't remember the name. Folks figured out a way to meet up with each other off campus, lived with each other for that period. I remember even under all the policies and stuff, Sakata still found a way to incorporate dance and celebration in our lives, or finding ways to hang out in the pods. If you know, you know, or whatever. All this to say that the drive to find and to create community wherever we are and through whatever means is ever present. So one thing I want to leave all you guys here with today is an understanding that we are capable of creating and strengthening our communities wherever we go. It's within each of us, and it's on each of us to do so. We hold that power to shape our collective circumstances to the best of our ability. No matter how many classes or P-sets or setbacks or moments of, I just need to get out of here, we experience, we always hold that power. We've seen it before because we're here today. We can make an impact on ourselves and those around us through community, and as such, we share a responsibility to protect what we create. The BSU and the Black Graduate, BSU and BJSA we see here today is a result of the intentions and efforts of the students here today, piled upon the efforts and intentions of the Black students who founded the BSU in 1968. The circumstances of our time are different, but the through line of need and the drive to build community persists. Folks in 68 understood what was necessary and organized to see the change they required for their home, and were given the same task. And let me be real, community doesn't just pop out of nowhere. To create, protect, and maintain it requires effort that extends past the folks that started it. For our needs as Black people, be it on this campus or off it, I think community is a must. To build that means having to continuously struggle through some tough questions and hard moments alongside the good times and the good vibes. Sometimes it means reevaluating a worldview or two. It means choosing not to ignore a present and pressing issue for the sake of peace. It means taking time to figure out things within our membership and taking people or institutions to task when necessary. If the events of Black Hack this year are any indication of our potential when we come together, I want to make it clear that we can rock the world whenever we do so. This seems like a tall order because it is. Like, I'm not trying to propose anything easy, but we must do it because this is home for not only ourselves, but for the people coming down the line. You see like the 2027s right there, which is a wild number, 27. This community is a legacy of folks who envisioned and fought for something better. Everything with COVID kind of showed us how necessary community is because it made it so difficult to maintain. As we move forward to tackle this big, crazy world ahead, I think it's really important that we balance all three, past, present, and future, in our heads and help it guide our decisions as we all move forward. We have a duty to make this a better world for everybody. So, to the Black graduates of the class of 2023, including myself, the onus is on us to use the power and privilege we have earned by gaining knowledge and experience at this institute to improve the world for those around us and those coming after us. We have the tools, resources, and capabilities afforded to us that can make a positive impact on our communities. We have to assess and truly take action on what it will take to make a better world for Black people at MIT, out in Boston and Cambridge, out in the United States, and out in the world. To the students staying here at MIT, as you set up to take these people's, the graduates' places soon, understand that you can still really make a difference even as a student. There's a long legacy of student power making waves at institutions like this. The technical education you all receive here should definitely be paired and augmented by social responsibility born through a commitment to improving our community. Study hard because you're not just doing it for yourself. And to the youngins, the students at the class of 2027, considering coming here and hopefully already committing if you haven't done so already, I hope you find and make MIT into your home as much as I have. There's a wonderful community here, and while I'm a bit sad to be leaving, I'm also happy to know that it's going to continue to evolve and grow after I'm gone. And if you need a good party, you still know who to call. So, yeah. Yo, quick announcement. After this, like I said, we need a good party. We're going to be celebrating at La Fabrica, so pull up, 21, let's get it.
That's a restaurant near Central, I believe, so y'all should definitely attend. It's always so good to hear from such inspiring words from our friends, ones who have been with us, who have really been with us, like Tego. My bad, but you've been here around. Nayla, you're so inspiring and ambitious. I'm really excited to see where your drive brings you. And also, I love seeing your sign by your door, counting down the days till you're out of here. And Tego, Fuego Tego, you've been so involved in advocating for Black students, especially this year with BSU and Black Hack and meeting with President Kornbluth. I just want to thank you both so much. Coming up next, we have a performance by a group that I'm sure y'all know, the coolest kids on the block. Yeah. They did not pay me to say that. A dance team, but also a strong family that I always see dining together, doing work together, supporting each other. Like, y'all are cute, come on. Please welcome MIT's premier Afro-Caribbean dance team, Sakata Freak. Wow, just wow. Like, can y'all come up perform again? Maybe another Afro shake? Like, the pre-props are already here. Like, it's kind of perfect. We'll talk later. Rachel? Yeah. So now it's time for our keynote address given by the wonderful Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. First, a little bit about her. Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley is an activist, a legislator, a survivor, and the first woman of color to be elected to Congress from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Throughout her career, Congresswoman Pressley has fought to ensure that those closest to the pain are the closest to power, driving and informing policymaking. In Congress, she's been a champion for justice and healing, reproductive justice, justice for immigrants, consumer justice, justice for seniors, justice for workers, justice for survivors of sexual violence, justice for formerly and currently incarcerated individuals, and healing for those who experience trauma. She has also turned her experience with living with alopecia into action, becoming a leading voice fighting to raise awareness and support across the nation. Congresswoman Pressley currently serves on the House Committee on Oversight and Reform and the House Committee on Financial Services. Prior to being elected to Congress, she served on the Boston City Council for 8 years and was the first woman of color elected to the council in its 100-year history. Please, everyone give a huge welcome to Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley.
All right, I feel a little bit set up following y'all. All right, well, good evening, family. It's wonderful to be here. I want to thank President Kornbluth, MITAA President Stephen Baker, BAMIT alumni, Black graduating students, current staff, students, and admitted students for the class of 2027. I know y'all want to have a Black Congresswoman. Okay. And thank you to the faculty and staff. Thank you for inviting me to join you on this special day. Eid Mubarak to those who celebrate on the heels of Ramadan, Passover, and Easter, or what I refer to as Resurrection Sunday. I hope you won't mind if I begin with a psalm from my faith tradition that I normally whisper silently, but feel inclined to say out loud at this moment. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and redeemer. P.S. This one's for the culture, Lord. Amen. Allow me to just take this all in for a moment. Give myself permission to be amazed, awestruck, dizzied, even prideful about what is in my view. Glowing, melanated skin of all shades, from Africa to the Caribbean to Cambridge, when I look at this sea of Black beauty and Black brilliance, I know the diaspora is strong. If this were a state of the union and the only metric of our well-being, I could say with full-throated confidence, the state of the diaspora is strong. Congratulations, class of 2023. Today is your day, a day of milestones, achievement, reflection, and celebration. Not only are you graduating, but you are graduating from MIT. If I did my research correctly, in 1968, there were over 3,000 MIT students, but only 22 of them were Black. I have a 14-year-old daughter, so I think she might officially call the fact that you're here today a flex. Today is a day to give yourself permission. Permission to take it all in, to not deny yourself by overthinking or second-guessing, or even to look with skepticism at your commencement speaker, at all of the platitudes, praise, and quotes she will most certainly heap upon you. Sit in this moment. Be present. Use all of your senses to take it in. You deserve it. You earned it. You did it. But make no mistake, although this achievement would not be possible without your self-determination, labor, and brilliance, you did not make it here alone. We have to thank your family, your loved ones, your family, biological and chosen. It takes a village, from praying grandmothers to parents who change diapers, siblings, friends, and play cousins that hype you up or tell you when your elbow or ankles need some shea butter. Every single person here, in their own unique way, poured into our graduates today, blood, sweat, tears, laughs, and hugs. Graduates, in your orbit, the people in your life represent a constellation of stars, and it is because of that astronomical alignment today has come. That constellation includes the MIT community of alumni, professors, faculty, administrators, custodians, librarians, catering and ground staff, and all of those who've helped to shape and continue to shape this august institution. As I stand here, I'm thinking of one of your own and one of my mentors, a giant in stature and impact who taught here, Mel King, a man who was deeply grounded and yet managed to somehow levitate, largely due to his unwavering commitment to radical love and justice. He recently transitioned and is among the ancestors, and I feel him watching over us, but long before he transitioned to become an ancestor, he transcended the bounds of what it is to create and what ought to be. May he rest in peace and power. Mel King broke ceilings, opened doors, built bridges and coalitions. He held many titles, elected, appointed, earned, but at his core, he was a humanist. He saw everyone as a neighbor, as community, one family inextricably tied. He considered no person illegal and worked to create a home for everyone in his kitchen or through policy shaping systems, speaking truth to power whenever there were barriers to the home and sense of belonging he sought to create for us all. No matter our station in life, what zip, area code, or family model we derive from, we all long for and seek home. We ache for home. Is home in the embrace of Mother Africa, the embrace of our Creator? Is home a literal birthplace or the physical space of where you were raised? Luther Vandross taught us that a home is more than material things when he said a house is not a home. Diana Ross, as Dorothy in The Wiz, saying that home is a place where love is overflowing. I believe that housing is a human right, an inherent one. We're all deserving of more than shelter. We are deserving of a home. However, a true home is more than the literal definition or interpretation. It is figurative, it is spiritual, it is magical, it is transformational. And when you really find home, it is a radical thing, nothing short of it. Like all of you, throughout my life, from my formative years in Chicago to the marbled halls of Congress, by the way, since we're offering trivia, took 230 years to elect the first person of color to represent the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in the House of Representatives. 230. Throughout my life, I have ached for home. Yes, even as adults, we still hold that foundational childhood desire to fit in. We long to feel belonging, to find acceptance, a sense of security, a warm embrace in a world that can be cold and callous, a bright smile on days our mind is in the darkest of places. I'm often asked by aspiring candidates for elected office, what or who has been your biggest obstacle? My response is always the same: myself. Today, I stand before you an unapologetically black, bald woman who wears leather most days, big hoop earrings, taking up space in the corridors of power and around policy and decision-making tables, a reality that didn't happen quickly or organically. Truth be told, when I was your age, for most of my 20s, I spent a lot of my time apologizing. I apologized when my worldview or truth-telling made others uncomfortable. I apologized when I felt my curves took up too much space in an aisle or elevator. I apologized for the curls and the kinks of my crown. I apologized for my greatness. I found home when I stopped shrinking. When I stopped shrinking in my blackness. I found home when I realized that I was more than my traumas. I found home when I realized I thrived and ascended the highest heights when I was fully and authentically myself, not watered down or compartmentalized. Ayanna Pressley, black with a capital B. Not palatable for the purposes of pleasing a world that taught me to deny my rage or righteous indignation in the face of injustice. A world that worked actively to erase the contributions of my ancestors, to stomp out my black girl magic, and to thwart black futures. Now, while there have been many to play the iconic character of Dorothy, Diana Ross as Dorothy with the curly afro was the only one I recognized. And the journey she took is not so unlike the journey many of you took over the past years as you have navigated your education, met new people, and reached graduation. A journey of unfamiliar challenges on a windy road. The past few years having your education impacted by the pandemic, a pandemic that hit our community, black folks, the hardest in every way possible: healthcare, economic effects, and social impact. Surviving the insurrectionist in chief and the prior administration, which cared more about political stunts rooted in cruelty than policy solutions rooted in community. And with all that is going on around us, with the many systems and laws and norms that are designed to oppress and to marginalize, it is critical to find home. We find home first in ourselves. I'm 49 years old, and I've spent my whole life navigating misogynoir, and more recently, living with alopecia totalis. This transformation was not one of my choosing, but it is one that I've learned to stand in, as my husband would say, 10 toes down. I thank him for reminding me that I didn't need hair to rock a crown. I am black. I am me on purpose. never by accident. I am intentional about how I show up in the room, recognizing the power of representation in all my aesthetic forms, from my Senegalese twist to my baldy. I know it is disruptive. Disruptive of cultural and societal norms of what is professional, what is pretty, what is feminine. But I'm comfortable and no longer shrinking. I want the same for all of you. Each one of you deserves to show up in this world as your full and authentic selves. At home with you. You are enough. To our Black, queer, and trans siblings, your presence is a present because you are enough. To my sisters, stay shining and rocking your crowns because you are enough. To our Black men, you deserve to grow old. You are enough. And with the accomplishment of feeling at home in oneself, because that is an accomplishment. You have harnessed a power that transcends social media likes and comments, a power that connects your past to your future, a power to take up space, but also to create it. That ache for home comes from within and must be satisfied within first. But as a people, we, the Black community, carry a responsibility to one another too. Now, as my grandmother used to say, I know that I know that I know, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. I work in Congress and pass the Supreme Court daily, so I'm not referring to an obligation. I'm not referring to an obligation to any individual, but an obligation to community. Responsibility to show up comfortably with a silk press and edges laid, with locks or braids or a smooth bald head, and take up space, but create it too. As Congresswoman for the Massachusetts 7th, I was elected to represent my community's interest. But I'm most certainly not a voice for the voiceless. I'm here to create space for your voice and theirs to be heard, so we may really lift every voice and sing. I create space for survivors of mass incarceration to discuss their emotional trauma. I create space for those who have had an abortion to share their stories. I create space for students to discuss the tens of thousands of dollars in debt that burden them. Sidebar, we will cancel student debt. I create space in every hearing room, every meeting, every hallway, every table, and on the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives. And I urge you to do the same. You already have by matriculating at MIT and being an example to all of the prospective students dreaming of this opportunity. And you must continue to do so after graduation. Engineers, athletes, computer scientists, writers, inventors, physicists, economists, teachers, actors, and all other careers, we need you to take up space and create space too. It won't be easy. It rarely is. But be status quo disruptors, table shakers, nation builders, and don't let the fight deter you. There is nobility in the fight. There is honor in the struggle. One of the things that I love most about my mother, may she rest in peace and power, raising me alone as an only child, she never spoke down to me. When I was about 7, she told me, Ayanna, to be Black is a beautiful thing and something you should be proud of, but you have been born into a struggle. And I have an expectation you'll do your part in that struggle, in the work of liberation of Black people and all marginalized people. I remember weeks later being at the beauty salon, sitting atop telephone books so the hairdresser could reach my head to straighten it with that hot iron. I had my head down, holding my ear, face in a book, like always. And the adults were doing that thing that they often do when they talk around you like you're not even there. And the hairdresser said, "This child stays worried. I don't know what this child is so worried about." I just looked up, stoic, 8 years old, the world. You know, a child's first teacher are their parents, and I thank God I had two extraordinary ones. My mother never read me traditional bedtime stories of princes coming to save me. She read me the congressional speeches of Barbara Jordan and Shirley Chisholm. She was a trip. She was Sagittarius. Shout out to all the Sagittariuses in the house, because that's how y'all do. I'm an Aquarius, by the way. Shout out. And with my father, speaking of struggle, my father was in and out of the criminal legal system, battling substance use disorder, and he was incarcerated because we criminalized disease in this society, but eventually persevered to become a college professor and a published author. So, yes, Black dads matter. We knew struggle from eviction notices to piles of unpaid bills. As a survivor of a decade of childhood sexual abuse and campus sexual assault, I understand violation and betrayal. And now today as a regular target of death threats. I've endured more than I would have imagined possible, but none of it defines me. It motivates me in service of others. It informs my work. I keep fighting to dismantle the systems of oppression that hold so many of us back: educational inequities, police brutality, wealth inequality. Do y'all know in a 3-mile radius, if you just ride the #1 bus from Cambridge to Nubian Square in Roxbury, that life expectancy drops by 30 years and median household income by $50,000. That is the result of what I would consider precise policy violence. All harm and hurt, for the most part, is legislated. And that's why I say policy is my love language, and I'm working daily to show what it is to legislate equity, health, equity, justice, and healing. So let me leave you with a final word. Now look, I've been very fortunate, like all of you, to be in some rarefied rooms and spaces. I'm not one to be awestruck, typically, except for this one time. I walked into a green room, and someone very powerful was seated there. Very quiet strength and power. And I asked her for an autograph on the back of an envelope. She picked up a pen, signed her name, and below it wrote a single word, only 3 letters, only 3 letters long. After passing the envelope back, I read it, Maya Angelou, and the word she wrote was joy. Here was someone masterful in language, certainly many words available to her with which to draw from when she wrote that message, but she chose 3 letters, 1 word, joy. Black joy comes with the warmth of Black love, a radical act that begins within. Black joy is seeing Black beauty in the works of art we create, whether it's a life-saving vaccine or a new song. Black joy is Black power in knowing you are part of a revolutionary movement that will benefit from your knowledge, your talents, your skills, your commitment. So no matter where you find yourself or where life's journey takes you, let joy be your home. Congratulations, class of 2023.
My name is Kofi, class of 2021. Devin, class of 2022. And we are the organizers of VGC this year. So thank you for those incredible words, which spoke perfectly to our theme focused on community and belonging. On behalf of BAMIT and the Black MIT community, we wanted to present you with a small token of our appreciation. We hope that you'll wear your MIT Kente cloth sweatshirt with pride.
And we also have for you a couple of books, one on the interesting hacking culture of MIT and about inventions in Cambridge, your district.
I do want to say, MIT, y'all have redeemed yourself, because the last time I was here, it was an alpha in engineering that broke my heart. I just want to say that. But y'all have turned this all around for me. Thank you, MIT. Thank you. Thank you.
Without further ado, we would like to invite BAMIT board member Rockland Clark to proceed with the calling of the graduates.
Why don't you go ahead?
All right, so as we get to calling the names of the graduates, please come down whichever aisle is closest to you and come and receive a Kente stole cloth. Thank you.
All right. Lord Jesus, help me. So I'm going to do the best I can with the names. If I mispronounce your name, please forgive me. Are we ready? Olalade Abadoli. Kidist Adamu. Frederick Ajasafe. Nicole Akwe. Melissa Allen. Kojo Anane Forjor. Oge Anyene. Tolu Ushade. Daniel Ayane. Khadija Ba. Gabriel Barrett. Christopher Benton. Reginald Best. Wesley Block. Nahum Berhane. O'Shea Bridges. Arthur Brown. Salam Bulti. Naila Canty. Lauren Carruthers. Marianne Chidume. Chelsea Cocking. Rachel Davidson. Amber Desilap. Maya Delaney. Daime Delgado. Liliana Edmonds. Osiruyuki Iguasa. Mokhtar Fall. Abiola Familusi. Ricardo Gale Jr. Halajumorke Gebieli. Ilorm Gabordzo. Kyle Gordon. Sedina Grace. Veronica Grant. James Garin. Leela Hampton. Sabrina Hare. Mela Hickling. Melissa Isidore. Haidar Jamal Baba. Jamal Johnson. Jensen Johnson. Sydney Johnson. Dione Jones. Ife Kalajaye. Moulin Rouge Kaspar. Stephanie Kaguli. Thomas Chumwa Kisimbi. Magnus Trigvi Kosoko Thorodosen. Aria Kidd. Naomi Lynch. Sandra Marr. Morgan Mayborn. Morgan McCrae. Kristen McLemore. Andrew Mighty. Nissa Miller. Sean Monell. Diane Emuziwira. Asia Nelson. Christy Neptune. Clyde Neba. Joseph Entaimo. Abdullahi San Nuhu. Victor Obiahu. Mercy Oladipo. Karen Ebere Onwegbu. Josephine Oshodi. Benjamin Perryman. Nina Roan. Philip Rigueur. Austin Roberson. Jared Scott. Blake Shepard. Alula Shiferaw. Kyle Smith. Jonas Sogbaji. Michael Sutton. Jonathan Tago. Kaya Thomas. Gianna Torpy. Yuke Ukaire. Binette Wada. Rachel Walker. Taylor Walker. Timor Williams. Darian Alexander Williams. Jadal Williams. Sienna Williams. Alfrey Wimberly. Kuejo Yaboa Asari. Congratulations to the class of 23.
Can we get one more round of applause for the class of 23? Yeah. Y'all did that. Y'all absolutely did that. So every year, the Black Graduate Celebration asks people who have shaped and molded the Black experience at MIT to participate in the BGC ceremony. This year, we recognize those Black alumni that have joined the Cardinal and Gray Society. These are graduates of 50 years or more. It is at this time that they pass the torch to our new graduates. Their efforts have made it possible for us to live in, learn in, and enjoy the MIT that we do today. So now, I'd like to welcome the president of the Alumni Association, Steve Baker.
Thank you very much for that introduction. I realize I'm between you and a party, so I'm going to be very brief. I'm honored to be here with you tonight, and Congresswoman, I thought your remarks were really profound and moving. Thank you very much. On behalf of the MIT Alumni Association, its staff and its board, and CEO Whitney Espich, I want to offer my deepest congratulations to all of you, the graduates of 2023. You made it. Congratulations. But as you graduate from MIT, I want to pause on that word from. Our goal at the MIT Alumni Association is to ensure that none of you are ever gone from this, your MIT community. We want you to remain a part of this community. Whether you continue to study here at the Institute or elsewhere, whether you live in Boston or somewhere else, anywhere around the world, or even, as some of our alumni have been known to do, hover up there in space, you will always be part of MIT. The theme for this year's graduation is the ache for home. Although it's been a few years since I've graduated, just a few, I understand that sentiment. I still consider MIT my home. And I hope that in a few years, you will all feel the same way. I encourage you to maintain your connection to MIT and to your community, your classmates, your friends here. Keep those connections that matter most to you. And I'll start with, encourage you, keep in touch with BAMIT. This fabulous event is just one of the many ways that BAMIT continues to be a cornerstone of our alumni community. Thank you to the BAMIT Board of Directors, and a special thanks to Programming Committee Chair Deborah Carlton for today's event and for all that you do to keep Black alumni at MIT close to one another and to the Institute. Thank you to BAMIT. I also want to extend a big thank you to Kofi and Devin as our co-chairs here tonight for all that they have done. Really an amazing event. Congratulations and thank you. My term as Alumni Association President is coming to end soon, June 30th. I'm sad about that, but I'm leaving this post grateful for many things. And among the things I'm grateful for is the opportunity to have met so many wonderful alumni, members of this community. And I'm also grateful that during my time as president, I was able to partner with our amazing Alumni Association staff and with volunteers to update the association's strategic plan. And I just want to mention one of the mandates of that plan, because I think it's really relevant to all of you here tonight. One of the key mandates is to ensure the inclusion, the representation, and the celebration of all of the members of the MIT alumni community, all of the members of the community. And that especially includes all of you. We celebrate you tonight, we include you, and we encourage you to be part of that voice of representation. I found through my decades as a student and an alumni volunteer that each of us has talents to share. Each of us has a perspective that needs to be heard. Each of us has an experience to help us all understand our community a little better. I hope that each of you will continue to contribute your own singular talents to help bolster our collective MIT community. Please stay close. Please stay connected. Close and connected. Again, congratulations. Welcome to the MIT Alumni Association. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kofi and Devin, two newer alums who are already doing a remarkable job in bringing our community together. Yes, Kofi and Devin.
Thank you, Steve. I really appreciate those words from the Alumni Association, and Whitney as well. Thank you. So we've come to the end, unfortunately. I just want to thank everyone so much for coming, to everyone in BAMIT, the Alumni Association, MIT administration, the BSU, BGSA, all the other community members, and especially the class of 2023.
We would like to remind you that this was the first in-person Black graduation celebration since 2019. And we hope that the in-person return of this event was memorable for all in attendance. Lastly, we would like to welcome you to stay for dinner and a reception in the lobby. Thank you everyone for coming.
And P.S., if you would like to continue the celebration of Black culture, at 7:14 p.m. right there at the Stata Amphitheater, the Beta Alpha chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, one of the Divine Nine Black Greek organizations, is having a probate. So please come out and support after you get food. Thank you.